Hi, this is Lisa with Real Property Management Phoenix Valley, and today I want to share a multifamily success story. So our client started services with us in 2018 with two different multifamily complexes. At the time, he was working with a different property management company. That property management company had actually been in place since the projects had been built. And then, so basically the builder built them, brought on the property management team, got them tenant occupied, and then they were sold to our client. So that property management company had been working with those tenants since they placed them. And so, again, our client came to us because the building was underperforming and it just didn't look up to his standards when he would go by. So the first thing we did is we, of course, went over there and got an exterior inspection done. And we increased, I shouldn't say we increased, we actually brought in our landscaping services, which were less money than the last company, but we greatly cleaned up the property. You know, there were quite a bit of weeds, debris, trees over roofs, hanging on roofs. So we got all of that cleaned up, fixed quite a few irrigation leaks, which of course that was costing our client quite a bit of money because multifamily, the owner has utility costs. So we immediately got those all checked out, got those all repaired, capped off, whatever we needed to do. The next thing we did is interior inspections of all the units. The previous property manager had said that because of the area, they would not do any type of an inspection. So that's the first thing we did. And unfortunately, we did discover quite a bit of unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, damages inside the units, writing, cleanliness issues. So we issued compliance notices, and we did this all over several months so that it was staggered. So basically our turnover of the complexes were staggered so that at all times the homeowner had occupancies, had rent coming in while we were rehabbing. Which is important because obviously we don't want to leave a homeowner not getting any rent in with all the units vacant. So we serve the compliance notices to the tenants. We work diligently with the tenants to try to get them in compliance. We had about an 80% success rate where the tenants either fully complied or they complied enough where it brought up the standard of the unit, so to speak. But we still had the issue, of course, of tenants who weren't paying. So we did have to evict a couple tenants. We just could not get them, to get into line with paying the rent. And part of the issue is these tenants had come from such a lax property management company that they really weren't used to complying to the lease agreements or complying to demand notices or anything of that nature. So there was quite a bit of resistance just because they were used to really doing whatever they wanted. So we had to do a couple evictions, and then when we did the notices, if we could not get the tenants to comply, we would look to when their leases came due, and if their lease came due, within the next couple months, we would then work to serve those tenants with notice to vacate. Every time going in and bringing the units up to snuff, cosmetically, some new paint, maybe we had to switch out carpet, and then putting in higher quality tenants at market rent. And it was a very rewarding experience anytime we do this for us, for the homeowner, because you could really see the complexes turning over, coming from here where not very attractive, not the highest quality tenant, to moving into here where now it's very high quality tenants. The complexes look, significantly better, to the point where our client was able to sell one of the multifamily units about 6 months ago. He more than tripled his money. And it was a super clean sale because, all the tenants were in compliance, the leases were in compliance, everything was, up to par. And we are still managing the other multifamily, and it's doing great. I mean, our turnover, we're at probably less than 1% of tenants vacating. And when they vacate, it's just simply job transfer, need more space, something along those lines. So it's really it's a great experience for the property manager and for the homeowner to be able to bring a complex like that really at the core was a great complex. It just needed more, support, it needed more management. So I hope the story that we're sharing maybe gets some people out there to look at some investment properties, maybe dipping your toe into it, and because they really can be a rewarding experience and really a great investment. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have